Welcome to the Power of Offense with Keith and Rodney. And today we're going to discuss this lawsuit that was filed by Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, against the popular YouTuber and image consultant Kevin Samuels. Now, please be advised that I am a fan of Kevin Samuels' work. So I personally do enjoy his work. I feel that Kevin Samuels is doing the Lord's work, just like we're doing here at the Power of Offense. Now, just because I am a fan of Kevin's work does not mean that here at the Power of Offense that we're going to view the lawsuit subjectively, meaning unfair, right, and partisan. Not at all. Now, here at the Power of Offense, right, when we view things such as lawsuits, we view those type of things objectively, no matter who the parties are involved. So that means that we view stuff like that unbiased and impartial and fairly. All right. I want to make that very clear. All right. Now, let's give you all our disclaimer. We are not attorneys at law. We're not here practicing law or teaching you law. Here at the Power of Offense, we entertain you with legal commentary from a layman's point of view. So everything we do here is entertainment, right? And we also provide you all with all of our sources. So we cite all of our sources. It will be in the description of this video, as well as upcoming videos that we're going to have posted for you all. So let's get started. So matter of fact, let me lay out how we're going to do this. I think that's probably the best thing for me to do at this point, Rodney. How are we going to do this, you all? We're going to first start with this video that you see on the screen, which was published by Tanya TKO. And in this particular video, she discusses the claims and allegations that Jessica has that she is saying that Kevin has done. All right. So in essence, what I'm saying is that in this particular video, she gives us the claims and allegations made by Jessica. Right. So we're going to listen to this first, and then we're going to move on from this video, and we're going to view the infamous interaction or video between Kevin Samuels and Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, because what we want to do is we want to see if the claims and allegations that are being made here in Tanya TKO's video on behalf of Jessica, we want to see if those allegations and claims are substantial. So we want to see whether they really exist. And then we also want to see if Kevin Samuels has any type of affirmative defense against those claims and allegations. So I think that's probably the best way for us to lay it out there. What you think, Rodney?
Yeah, I agree. That's the only way to lay it out. You have to lay out the facts and then any defenses thereof.
Right. Exactly. So let's get started. Fair use, fair use. And this video is Tanya TKO giving us the claims and allegations on behalf of Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best.
Hello, knockouts. Tanya TKO here. Oh my. Look at what has come down my pipelines. Oh my gracious goodness alive. Come on in, knockouts. Come on in. Today we're going to have a little powwow around the fire. We're ending out our year with a bang. Listen, so the question is Kevin Kittenheel Samuels getting sued for putting that young lady's likeness out there without her permission? That's the question. So listen, if there are any attorneys out there or people who have access to legal documents, we know that Jessica is in the state of, I forget the state she's in, but we know.
All right, let me stop right here. We know that Jessica is in the state of North Carolina. All right. So when we view everything, you all, we're going to take a look at, again, we're going to listen to these claims that's being made. Right. Then we're going to move forward to listen to the infamous video between Kevin Samuels and Jessica. And then after that, we're going to take a look at some case law. All right. So we're going to see what the common law is saying about stuff. And we're going to take a look at specifically case law in the state of North Carolina, assuming that she filed her suit against Kevin Samuels in the state of North Carolina. All right. So I want to make that clear. Also, if anyone out there has access to said lawsuit, right? Please email a copy to Rodney and myself. We'll have our email in the description box of this video because we would love to read the complaint. All right. Now let's keep going.
Or if they can't find a complaint, just the county where it was filed, then we could possibly find it ourselves. But the state is not good enough because I don't think she filed a federal claim. She filed a state claim, a civil action in the state. So therefore, it probably went through the county. Right. So even though it's North Carolina, I think we have to try to find at least the county that the young lady lives in. Right.
Agreed. All right. So please do that for us, everyone. All right. All of our listeners. All right. Let's keep going.
No, Kitten Heels is inside of Georgia. So if there's anyone who could get a hold of these legal documents, these alleged documents, please send them my way. Come to TanyaTKO.com. Click on contact and send me the documents so that I can come out with verified proof about whether or not there is a lawsuit. I know in the whisperings in the YouTube streets, I had heard that there was something coming down the pipelines for him. But now we have a person who claims that they are a firsthand witness and one of the plaintiffs. So we're going to listen to that video. Let me just introduce myself.
All right, we're going to stop right there. Just to give everyone heads up. There is 2 lawsuits against Kevin Samuels. I am aware of that. It's one of the suits is Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, which is the suit that we're looking into in this particular broadcast. But then there is another woman of which we're about to listen to in this video. All right. Now that woman lays out the claims that are not just being made by her, but she also lays out the claims and allegations that's being laid out by Jessica. All right. So we're going to fast forward to that. And let me see. Let's say about right here. All right, here we go.
Suit. So let's take a listen in here. It's only 6.5 minutes. So let's take a listen to see what she has to say.
So, hello everyone. I am recording this video because I am moving a lawsuit against Mr. Kevin Samuels. What happened is that sometimes he does open the phone lines to people who disagree with him. And when that happened, I called in and he told me that the condition for me to enter the show, I needed to show my face just for him, so he could certify that I am a real person. I was not someone just trolling who will enter there and say a bunch of things. I was like, okay. So I entered the show. What I didn't know is that he was broadcasting my live stream to the rest of the audience. That one is a crime that he committed. First of all, he kind of violated my trust. And the second thing, he used my image without my permission.
All right, let's stop right there. So basically, the claims and allegations that is being made by this woman is that Kevin Samuels is showing women's images, or shall I say, showed her image, right? Which is her property. She's saying that her image and likeness was used on Kevin Samuels' show without her permission. Now, to me, that sounds like a breach of privacy is what she's ultimately claiming as far as a cause of action. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you think about that, Rodney?
Yeah, that's what it appears. What she's saying, that the guy used her image without her permission,
right?
Or whenever he told her to, or showed the video just between him and her. Did you hear that part?
Yeah. I hear you loud and clear.
But that wasn't with the 22-minute video. That's just
right.
She's a
yeah. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
Now she is going to give us the claims and allegations that Jessica is saying also. So I'm assuming that she actually spoke to Jessica. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm matter of fact, yeah. Let's play it from right here.
and I am moving a lawsuit against him. And also, I am not the only person who is doing this. The lady, Jessica, who appeared on his video that he classified her as average at best, is also moving a lawsuit for the same reason. Why? Because the same thing that he did to me, he did to her.
All right, let's.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. So she just made it clear that Jessica, aka Miss Average at best, is moving a lawsuit against Kevin Samuels also for the same reasons. She's saying that their image and likeness was used inappropriately and without their permission. This is what I get from what is being said in this particular video. How about you, Rodney?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we want to lay out the facts, y'all. We got to lay out all the facts, because again, here at the Power of Offense, we deal with stuff no matter who it is, no matter how we feel about them, any of that. We deal with everything objectively. All right, so we deal with stuff fairly. So again, for just to bring this back up, to reiterate this, we're listening to the claims and allegations against Kevin Samuels that's being waged by Jessica, aka Miss Average at best. Now we're about to move into the infamous video, which has the interaction between Kevin Samuels and Jessica, and we're going to see whether these claims and allegations exist, and then we're going to see whether Kevin Samuels have an affirmative defense against such claims and allegations. All right, so let's move forward. And fair use. And here's the interaction between Kevin Samuels and Jessica, aka Miss Average at best.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Those were hers.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you a PhD?
No.
I'm a PhD.
How many dogs you got?
One.
Really?
I'm sorry?
What kind of dog is it?
He's a cane corso.
He's a what?
A cane corso.
What is that in English?
It's a larger dog, and their breed is meant for guarding and protecting. They're very protective of their home and their family.
Okay, so what's your disagreement?
Honestly, I don't have a disagreement. I just came here because I honestly want some advice from you.
It says disagreement day.
Oh, I know, but this is my first time catching it on live. Normally I'm asleep. And
You have a job?
I do. I own a business.
Okay, so I do too.
And I do have a question. If you don't
But I
mind.
have a business. And if you wanted my advice, you could always book a session if you can't.
All right, now I'm gonna stop it right there real quick. So let's set the stage of events. So Jessica, aka Miss Average at best, she calls in to Kevin's show, which is a disagreement show. So he's doing a show where he's taking calls for women who disagree with his talking points, right? So Jessica calls in and she says that she wants his advice. So Kevin Samuels asks her, what does she do? She he asked her, what does she do? Is she basically, matter of fact, she basically stated that she's a businesswoman. That's what she stated, right? He said he's a businessman. He said, if you want my advice, please schedule a session, right? A session will be like a consultation. So he's saying whatever advice you need, please schedule that so that we can do that off the air. But she's like, no, I need to talk to you now, because now she has time to talk to him, right? Based upon her schedule. All right. Now let me know, Rodney, did I miss anything?
No.
Okay.
Pretty much what it. No.
All
You
right.
go ahead, please.
Okay.
Can't catch us at the show live.
I was trying to go online earlier.
But all you have to do, man, see, what kind of business do you own?
I own a pet grooming, doggy daycare, and indoor
Okay,
dog
so
park.
what you're basically trying to do is, I have a disagreement day, and you basically came in and said, damn your topic, I want to ask you what I want to ask you. And
Okay.
but you are more than welcome to go on my website and purchase your time to talk with me.
Now, again, from business owner to business owner, Kevin Samuels is the business owner, right? He's talking to Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, who's also a business owner. She owns a doggy daycare, right? Or a doggy grooming business, etc. So he's telling her, if you want my advice, right, the proper thing to do would be for you to schedule a session for us to go over the things that you want to talk about, but not right now while I'm doing a live broadcast, which the topic is disagreement. All right. This is what I get. Right. How about you, Rodney?
Yeah, he's pretty much telling her that this is not the venue to discuss what she's trying to discuss, but she's been adamant that she wants his time now, and she wants it for free, because it appears that this is the day for what do you call it, disagreement day.
Yes.
So I guess people who disagree with what I don't follow this gentleman. I don't know who he is, so I'm piecing together what he does, and I heard what she does. So it appears to me that he has a talk show on YouTube, and he discusses certain topics. And if people disagree, he have a day. He has a day that he designate for those to call in to disagree with what he's saying, so they can further the conversation.
Right.
Is that
yeah,
okay,
you're 100% correct. And matter of fact,
Okay.
I think it's awesome that you're not an avid listener like I am. You know what I mean? I think it
Right.
is because, again, here at the Power of Offense, we deal with issues like this objectively. You know what I'm saying? So that just secures the process, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? But you ready to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
One, because what you're trying to do is rather rude, but I will go ahead and do it because I'm going to use this as a teaching lesson. How old are you?
Okay.
All right, let's stop right there. Kevin Samuels just told her that he's going to go ahead and give her his advice, but he's going to use this as a teaching lesson, right? Now, she said, okay, right? Is that what you heard, Rodney?
Yes.
Now, to me, that sounds like an implied contract or some type of implied agreement. All right. Now, I want to give everybody a definition, right, for implied contract. Now, this is coming out of law.com, which is a legal dictionary, as you can see. And this is what it says. It says implied contract is an agreement which is found to exist based on the circumstances when to deny a contract would be unfair and or result in unjust enrichment to one of the parties. Now, it says an implied contract is distinguished from an express contract. Now, we're going to come back to this, right? Because to me, what I just heard right there was some type of an agreement, right? Now, if it was me, if I was Jessica, I would have asked him, what do you mean when you say teaching lesson, right? Because what is a teaching lesson? That can mean anything. You know what I'm saying? So he said he's going to do this, and he's going to give her the advice that she wants, and this is going to be a teaching lesson, right? So she's getting advice, right? Allegedly for free. And she said, okay. So that sounds like offer and acceptance. Can we agree to this, Rodney?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to take some notes, because as it go on, I'm gonna bring up some points that I see as well.
That is awesome. Hey, Rodney, and I want to throw this out there for everyone. You just heard what Rodney said, that he's grabbing paper and pen to take notes. That's what we do here, y'all. When we go through stuff like that, we grab paper and pen and take notes. Matter of fact, when I'm looking down a lot of times, what y'all don't know is that I'm actually taking notes. I'm doing the same thing. That's what we do to make sure that we remember certain points, right? Or certain things that we heard, so we can talk about it again, right? All right, let's keep going.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
35 years old. 35 years old, and you're a business owner. And what's your question?
So my issue is, I want to know at what point when I'm just meeting a guy, do I tell him that I'm a business owner? Because my problem is that when I try to date down and the conversation comes up to where I own a business, the guy is either like, hey, can I come join in on you on that business? Or
all right, now I want to stop right here, right? Because as we can see, Kevin Samuels is showing her image, right? So he's showing her image at this point, right? So I never heard Kevin ask her, can you turn your camera on? Or is your camera on, right? She already had her camera on. Not only does she have her camera on, right? So she was already ready to show her image and likeness, right? But the woman is dressed to impress. Look at her. She's wearing a very nice blouse, right? I'm assuming it's a blouse. She has her hair done. She has makeup on. The woman is looking the best that she can, right? To get advice from Kevin Samuels. Now, to me, the fact that her camera was on, right? Kevin didn't have to ask her to turn the camera on. She already had it on. That to
like
me,
he asked the other girl, because he asked the other girl to show his her face, according to her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, according to her, because we really don't know.
Yeah, according to the girl, according to the young lady that was talking about Miss Average at best, she stated that Kevin asked her to turn the video on just between him and her, but you don't have any evidence that he said that. But right. As you said, he didn't have to say that to her. So whenever he went to who she was already there.
Right. Now, I will say this, any of our listeners, if you're able to find, again, that lawsuit from that woman, right? Because I don't know where that woman resides. We have no idea where she resides or anything. But if you're able to find out who she is, where she resides, right? Or if you're able to get your hands on her complaint, please email it to us also, because we would love to take a look at it. And I would love to do the research into what particular video she's referring. You know what I'm saying? We would love to discuss that here at the Power of Offense. But as you see on your screen, I pulled up a definition for the word implied consent. Now, the reason I pulled it up is because, to me, the fact that Jessica, aka Miss Average at best, has her camera on and she's prepared to be seen, right? She's dressed to impress. She's looking the best that she can. She was already prepared to be seen by Kevin and possibly everyone else, right? Possibly. All right. Possibly. Now, implied consent definition. Now, this is coming out of law.com legal dictionary. Also, it says implied consent is consent when surrounding circumstances exist which would lead a reasonable person to believe that this consent had been given, although no direct, express, or explicit words of agreement had been uttered. All right. So I'm saying that she gave consent based upon her actions, right? Based upon the circumstances, right? That her actions leads me to believe that she wanted Kevin to see her and possibly everyone else, right? Possibly the public. All right. Now I keep on saying the word possibly because we're going to examine that more as we move forward. Now, this definition gave examples. It says a contract based on the fact that one person has been doing a particular thing and the other person expects him or her to continue. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, Kevin did say that he'll give her advice, and he said that this will be a teaching lesson, in quotes. And she said, okay, in quote, right? So right there, you have some type of agreement. She already has her camera on, right? So her actions to me is saying that she expects a certain thing to happen. She expects to be seen. In other words, is what I'm saying. Now, B, it says the defense in a date rape case in which there's a claim of assumed consent due to absence of protest or the belief that no really means yes or really meant yes, maybe, or later. So those are examples. Now, let's move back. Let's go back to this video. And let's pick it up from here.
All right. Can I put some money in a business partner? And I'm not looking for that. And I honestly...
Hold on. I need to be clear on the subject. Where are you at?
North Carolina.
And you're saying to tell somebody you own a business?
Because I find when I date down, guys see an interest and want to be like a business partner, and I'm learning that maybe I need a high value man. Because
all right, let's stop right there. Now she have already told us that she's 35 years old. She's a business owner in North Carolina, right? These are things that she has told us. So let's establish the facts. She said that she's tired of dating down and that she needs a high value man. So again, to me, she's voluntarily telling us, right, personal information about herself. Now, she wants the advice. Kevin is giving it to her. They have an agreement, right? Now, I'm alleging there's an agreement that's going on, right? And the fact that her camera is already on and Kevin did not ask her to turn her camera on, and she did not state anything concerning her image with her camera on, implies to me that she want to be seen. All right. Anything you want to plug in, Rodney?
No, not right now. Just keep playing.
All right. Let's keep going.
that's what
Well, first off, ma'am, I really don't understand. What kind of man are you talking about? Because owning a business is no different than having a job, in my opinion. And I'm not getting what you're saying. When should you? I'm not understanding why this is an issue. If you're, what kind of men are you? What kind of men are you dating?
I try to give guys that not a chance.
You try to do what?
I try to give guys that's not on my level a chance.
Why? What do you mean on your level? What does that mean?
That's making 6 figures or more.
But I don't okay. You try to give guys who are not on your level a chance. Why?
And because I honestly want a 6-figure guy. Is what I'm realizing.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and net it out for you. You ready?
Uh-huh.
The guys you want aren't asking you out.
Well, I haven't been putting myself out there, honestly.
But you put yourself out there enough for the guys you don't want or beneath you to ask you out.
Those are like guys I met online.
Right. So, again, the men you want are not asking you out. See, you ladies do this. Mm-hmm. You go and deal with men who you feel are beneath you, and then you ask how to fix them. I'm not beneath you. I don't know how to fix a guy that's down there. That's not my concern. The better question is, why can't you get a guy on your level? That's the real question. Well, first of all, I would tell you what I said in here automatically is a problem. Why you would come onto a show that you know is a disagreement day? It's selfish. It's like, yes, ma'am. It's like, I want what I want. I don't say things for no reason. That's why I asked you questions. You're 35 years old, a business owner. That means you understand what business is, and you know this is a business. And I have a show title, and you said, "Damn your show title! I want to talk to you." But you could have went to my business and booked time to talk to me. But you wanted what you wanted, how you want it.
I'm sorry.
No, and I'm using this as a lesson. That's the problem with too many of you black women.
All right, let's stop right there. He's just told her right there again that he's using this situation as a lesson. So what does Kevin mean when he says it's a lesson in quotes, right? Just like when he said in quotes, it's a teaching lesson. These are questions that I would expect any reasonable person, right, to ask. Anyone that's reasonable, right? I expect them to ask stuff like that. Well, what do you mean when you say this is a lesson? What does that entail? You know? And again, the lady said that she needs a 6-figure man. She said that she's tired of dating down and she don't like to put herself out there, right? Although she's on dating apps, these are all personal information that she is telling us, telling Kevin, and telling us in the public on a publicly broadcasted show. All right. Anything you want to plug in, Rodney?
No.
All right. Let's keep going.
You don't do shit the right way with black men. That was improper. And when I told you the right way, you still were like, well, whatever. So I'm gonna use this. When was the last time you had a relationship?
Like the end of last year around December.
How long did it last?
A year.
A year. And was that man, did you go to college?
Did I go to college?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, let's stop there briefly. She just told us that she don't go to college. Again, more personal information. She even told us that her last relationship was only a year, right? More personal information. Let's keep going.
How long have you owned your own business?
9 years.
And how long have you been making six figures or more?
The last 3.
Okay. Why do you need a man making six figures?
Because I'm finding out that the guys that I date, it's not working out.
What does that have to do with money?
Because I feel like I need a guy that I can respect and admire, and I'm ambition, and I want a guy that has that drive too. And when he doesn't, I find myself, encourage him like, hey, babe, you can do this and you can do that. And then,
all right. So in North Carolina, what percentage of the population, what percentage of men in this country make six figures or more?
I think it's like 5%. I'm not
closer to 10. So,
okay.
10%. All right. So the question is, what do those men who make that kind of money, who all women tend to want, what do they want?
I feel like they want arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just looks, but also bring balance to their life. I feel like I can help them out on
Okay, slow down. I'm not understanding. You said they want arm candy, then you contradicted yourself. They want somebody that more than just looks.
Yeah, arm candy, but something behind, bring with it, and more in depth.
Do you know any men who make six figures or more?
My dad and my uncle.
Do you know any men that you are related to that make six figures or more?
Unrelated to? Yeah,
men that you are not related to.
Not on a personal level.
All right, let's stop right there. Again, she told us more personal information. She just told us that the only men that she know there in the state of North Carolina that are high value is her father and her uncle, right? This is what she just told us. She also stated that, oh God, I lost my train of thought. She also stated that she doesn't know any other high value men other than her 2 relatives. All right. So again, we're establishing facts. Now let's keep going.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want him. Ma'am, I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying six figures is just something that you get taken from out there. But I'm not hearing this rooted to anything. But what do you want ultimately? Do you want to be married? Children? What?
Yes, I want to be married.
Do you want any children?
Yes.
How many?
I have a son now, so.
Okay. How old is your son?
He's 13.
Where's the father?
All right. She just told us right there that she wants to be married, right? And that she has a son. He's 13 years old. All right. So now Kevin just asked her, where's the father? We want to hear what she has to say concerning that. So again, that's more personal information that she's telling us, right? Voluntarily.
He's not enough in his life.
I didn't ask that. I said, where's the father?
Well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
All right. So let me go ahead and take this down, ma'am.
This is my video. It's pretty good, right? Well, it's a little boring.
Of course,
can't you do something like this?
Right in the middle.
Ma'am, Men who make the kind of money you talked about have options. And typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons, who are used to dating men. This doesn't sound appealing to the kind of man you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was thinking once I start booking session with you that
I can't change men.
I know, but I can approve myself, and I feel like I have a lot to offer to those type of men.
Okay, but see, you should have stopped right there. I just told you I cannot change men, and you said once I book a session with you, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm telling you what they want, and you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year and booking your.
Okay, ma'am, but okay. 35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's in the top 10% of earners, who women across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer. I feel like.
Would you want your son to, if you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, was younger, and easier to get on his program?
Depending on his age.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. They will even. Should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring. I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer. That's why I sat up. That is bullshit. You should want the best for your son.
Of course.
But this is. And are you thinking? Michael.
If he brought home a woman, yes, I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
no, you're not. That's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life is proven to you that you're not.
My love life is not that good. I agree with you.
That's my point, and ma'am, and that's.
Let's stop right there real quick. Again, she just gave us more personal information that her love life is not that great right now. All right. She said that, you know what I mean? She voluntarily said that. Just like all of the other things that she's answering, at any point she could tell Kevin, I don't want to answer these questions. But of course, why would she say that when she's the one that wanted the session live on the air, publicly broadcasted in front of the world, right? All right, let's keep going.
My point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so what?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one on you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
All right, right there. She just asked him, can you see me? Right. And he said, yes, I can. Now, again, she already had her camera open. Or shall I say on, right? Her camera was already on. She knew she wanted to be seen. How do we know this? Well, look at how she's dressed. She's dressed to impress, right? Her hair is done. Her face is made up. She has a really nice blouse on. Now, I'm assuming that's a blouse. She looks nice, right? So, of course, she want to be seen. Now, let's hear the rest of that interaction right here.
Okay. So, do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10?
All right, let's stop right there. Now, she had an opportunity when she asked him, can you see me? And Kevin said, yeah. She had an opportunity right there to say, well, I want to make sure that only you can see me, Kevin, and no one else. Right now, I'm alleging that she had a duty right there to say that I want to make sure that only you can see me, Kevin, right? And no one else. Now, I didn't hear anything like that. She didn't say that, right? She just asked him, do you see me? Kevin said yes. And, she blushed and she kept talking. That's what I saw right now. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit so we can view that again. All right. Again, we're establishing facts, y'all. All right. So I'm going to go back a little bit. All right, Rodney?
Yeah.
All right.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat him off with a stick. That's another one on you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So, can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10?
All right. Again, I'm going to stop right there because I want to make sure this point hits home. She could have brought up any privacy issues right then and there. Right then and there, when she asked him, do you see me? Kevin said yes. She could have easily stated that I want to make sure that only you see me, Kevin, and no one else. All right. This is what I'm getting from this. To me, that is implied consent, right? Implied consent to go along with an implied contract because it was offered by Kevin, right? That he would give her the advice and it'll be a teaching lesson. That was an offer, and acceptance by her when she said, okay. All right. So those are the facts. Anything you want to input, Rodney?
No, I'm gonna wait. I just want to go through it all as you lay them out, and then I'm gonna try to counter what I see, or you know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna try to go back and forth. I'm gonna try to stay neutral until I see exactly where she's trying to go with it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving, y'all.
You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up 5, but when I put myself together 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
Just want to stop right there real quick. She rated herself, right? On a publicly broadcasted show. He asked her, what would you rate yourself? Now, he didn't rate her, right? She rated herself. She said a 5 when she wake up and a 6 when she's made up. So right now, she's made up. She's dressed to impress, right? Face done, hair done, etc.
So
right now, she's
6 right now to her.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right, let's keep moving.
5.
According to her, she's
Dress
a 6.
Right.
I'm sorry?
That's
Your dress
another
size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
Did you, I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
All right, now let's stop right there. Now, all Kevin did was reiterated what she said. She said that she is average, right? She said that she's between a 5 and 6, right? And all he did was reiterated what she said, that you're average at best, right? So he's just building off of all of the information that he has gathered from which he has voluntarily said on a publicly broadcasted show. This is what I'm taking from this. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna keep. We want to keep moving, Rodney.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
I'm taking it in, but
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay, average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I mean, I don't want to have to go there. But when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. And
I just want to stop right there real quick, Rodney. Something I just observed. Now, right there in the waiting room, like if you look at the video right now, it says Jessica Gardner, right? So her name is up there. Now, my point is this. Whenever you're a participant on an application like Zoom, right, you can choose the name that you want to use. So she could easily just typed in Jessica or Jessica G, right? But she chose to type out her entire name, Jessica Gardner, right? Now she knowingly and willingly did that. That was all voluntarily, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to establish that right there. I just noticed that. I wanted to establish that fact right there. All right.
We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. And you're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same, because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for women that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. People think most of us in the Black community need therapy, but you're not dealing with reality. I asked you about your child's father, and you couldn't answer me. But it doesn't sound like you're too proud of him. What kind of student is your child?
He's an A student.
Does he have any behavioral problems?
No, he actually got a YouTube channel, and he's trying.
I don't need no. But where is it? But his daddy is still. If his daddy is alive, does he have a relationship with his father?
Yeah, he does.
Then what's your issue with him?
He's not business minded like my father and my uncle. And
then why did you choose to make a baby with him before you got married?
Young and dumb. I was 16.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. She just told us more personal information that her baby father is not business minded like her dad and her uncles, and she also stated that she has, her 13-year-old son. He's a YouTuber. He's a student. Again, she's telling us more personal identifying information, right? And that's besides her full name being up there, as far as her typing in her name into the application Zoom for it to be seen by Kevin and possibly all of us. All right, so I just wanted to lay that out there. Let's keep going.
Cost. See, that young and dumb shit. Let me stop you right here. That young and dumb shit you Black women throw out as if it's supposed to get. Listen and listen well, women. Young and dumb is not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't go woof and change the fact. You still have to carry that consequence. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds. What would be better is if you honestly sat down and asked yourself, what value can I bring to a man?
And I know that what I can.
Well, all right. What value? What is it?
What is it? I can help him with his business. I'm very business minded on the end of helping organize. And I plant into planting my own garden, so I can definitely plant. I'm into improving my etiquettes with just self-improvement and working on myself. And
ma'am, at 35 years old, here's what you told me. I can help him with his business. Due respect, ma'am. And I mean no disrespect, but 20 to 30% of people own businesses. What about the 70 to 80% of men who don't own them? That means that doesn't matter. That means nothing to the average man. Then the next thing you said, I can plant. Ma'am, that means nothing to most people because we go to grocery stores. Then you say self-improvement. I gave you a shot at saying what you have to offer to men, and you said nothing that we value.
What do you value? What do you?
Book a session. I'm not doing this. Nope. I'm done. I've tried to go around, but this has happened. The older you ladies get, the more you get set in your ways. Book a session because I don't want to do this in public, man. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being. Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you, and I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. Tired of y'all doing this shit.
All right, we can stop it right there. Now, just to recap, I wanted to go back to one point, Kevin. I say Kevin, I meant Rodney. Sorry about that. I want to go right back right here, and I want us to hear this one point again, because I think this is a good place to build off of.
What I'm gonna do is I have a disagreement day, and you basically came in and said, "Damn your topic. I want to ask you what I want to ask you," and But you are more than welcome to go on my website and purchase your time to talk with me one-on-one. Because what you're trying to do is rather rude. But I will go ahead and do it because I'm going to use this as a teaching lesson. How old are you?
All right. Now, I wanted to play that again because I wanted to reestablish the fact that I believe, right, from what I've seen, what I've heard, that a verbal implied contract exists between Kevin Samuels and Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best. Now, Kevin Samuels told her, right, that what she did was disrespectful, calling in, asking for advice during a broadcast, a disagreement broadcast, right? But he told her that he will give her the advice that she seeks, which is an offer, and she said okay, which is acceptance. So I just wanted to point that out, right? Now, I also wanted to state that during this entire video, right, this entire broadcast, I did not see any type of waiver statement from Kevin Samuels stating, right, that he may show or can show any of his participants' image. Now, that is something of concern, that there's no type of waiver statement where he's actually warning people, right, giving them his full intent that he could possibly, or that he may choose to show their image and likeness, right? So I do think that's something that needs to be discussed also. Now, I have some case law that I wanted to cover, right? So that we can, sorry about that, y'all, so that we can lay out the entire discussion. And I think this is a good one to start with right here, Rodney. This one is Miller versus Brooks. And this is from North Carolina Court of Appeals from 1996. Now, for anyone that don't know, in the state of North Carolina, they have two high courts. The highest court in the state of North Carolina is the North Carolina Supreme Court. And then the lower court right under the North Carolina Supreme Court is the Court of Appeals. All right. So I'm using a case, right? Case law from the Court of Appeals. The case is Miller versus Brooks. And this case is from 1996. And I want to start right here. We're not going to read the entire case. We just want to deal with the allegations, right, that are being made. Now, the claims and allegations that are being made by Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, is that Kevin Samuels showed her image and likeness, right? Now, he's showing her image without her permission, right? So I pulled up this case, right? And we want to take a look at this so that we can see whether there's some type of invasion of privacy that existed within that particular video. All right, so I'm gonna start reading from here. It says, this appeal requires us to decide whether North Carolina recognizes the tort of invasion of privacy by intrusion into the seclusion, solitude, or private affairs of another. Intrusion tort. It says in Renwick versus News and Observer Publishing Company, right? It says, then Mr. Justice Mitchell, writing for the majority, stated, the tort of invasion of privacy is now recognized in one or more of its forms in a majority of jurisdictions. It is generally recognized that the right of privacy as an independent and distinctive legal concept has two main aspects. Number one, the general law of privacy, which affords a tort action for damages resulting from an unlawful invasion of privacy. And number two, the constitutional right of privacy, which protects personal privacy against unlawful governmental invasions. Now, upon reading this, I would say that her situation will fall under number one. What do you think, Rodney?
If at all, it may fall under one for invasion of privacy.
Right,
because it definitely doesn't fall under two because it's not government.
It's not government, right? So number one sounds like an invasion of privacy dealing with another private citizen, right? That's what it sounds like to me. My interpretation. Now, the court goes on and says the general law of right of privacy as a matter of tort law is mainly left to the law of the states. All right, so the states, right, determine the matters of tort law. This is what the court is saying. So right here, let me scroll. It says in Renwick, the majority listed 4 types of privacy torts recognized in American jurisdictions. These are, number one, appropriation of a plaintiff's name or likeness for a defendant's advantage. Number 2, intrusion upon a plaintiff's seclusion, solitude, or private affairs. Number 3, public disclosure of embarrassing private facts about a plaintiff. And number 4, publicity that places a plaintiff in a false light in the public eyes. Now, let's go through these. All right. Now, number 1, it says appropriation of a plaintiff's name or likeness for defendant's advantage. So I'm gonna replace plaintiff with Jessica and defendant with Kevin Samuels. It says appropriation of Jessica's name and likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage. Now that sounds like a possible cause of action that she can use right there. That's what it sounds like to me, number 1. Now, number 2, it says intrusion upon Jessica's seclusion, solitude, or private affairs. Now, that would be, let me give an example. That would be something like if Kevin Samuels was to set up a camera inside of like Jessica's house, and he was to record her, right, inside of her, inside of her home, then that would be an intrusion under number 2. Now, it says number 3, it says public disclosure of embarrassing private facts about Jessica. Now, again, what I've heard is that she disclosed all of these personal, private facts, right? Personal, private, identifying information, whatever we choose to call it, about herself. Kevin Samuels asked her questions and she disclosed these things about herself. So number 3 wouldn't apply, just like number 2. Now, number 4 says publicity that places Jessica in a false light in the public eye. Now, again, she answered questions that Kevin Samuels asked her, right? So only she could have placed herself in a false light in the public eye. So number 4 wouldn't count neither. So it has to be number 1. Now I'm gonna highlight number 1. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna read it to everyone again. So the privacy tort that we can see Jessica possibly using will be an appropriation of her name and likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage, right? We can agree on that, right, Rodney?
Yeah.
All right, now the court goes on and it says, and I'm gonna start right here. It says our Supreme Court has held that a right of privacy exists in North Carolina and has recognized the first type of privacy tort, being invasion of privacy by the unauthorized appropriation of a plaintiff's photographic likeness for a defendant's advantage as part of an advertisement or commercial enterprise. Now, back in 1996, right, the internet wasn't popping like it is today. Matter of fact, I think YouTube may have just appeared, you know what I mean, during that particular time. So you didn't have suits back then that dealt with platforms like YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna highlight this because I'm gonna replace plaintiff with Jessica and defendant with Kevin. So it says our Supreme Court has held that a right of privacy exists in North Carolina and has recognized the first type of privacy tort, being invasion of privacy by the unauthorized appropriation of Jessica's photographic likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage as part of an advertisement or commercial enterprise. And I'm gonna say, or YouTube. Now, the reason why I'm saying or YouTube is because YouTube does function in some ways similar to an advertisement or commercial enterprise. Why am I saying this? Because popular YouTubers like Kevin Samuels, right, get paid from views. So the more people view his channel, right, the more valuable his channel is on YouTube platform and the more money he makes. So to me, it does seem like this particular number 1, appropriation of her name and likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage, it does seem like that would be the proper privacy tort that she would want to use in court. Can we agree to that, Rodney?
Say that again.
It seems to me that number 1, appropriation of Jessica's name and likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage would be the appropriate tort that she would want to use in court there in North Carolina. Yeah. All right. Now it goes on and it says, however, the court has refused to recognize the third type, invasion of privacy by disclosure of private facts. And then it goes on to the 4th type. We could stop right there because we're dealing with the first type and we just covered exactly what it's saying, right? And we just established the fact that Jessica does have a claim right? It appears that she does have some type of a claim under an appropriation of her name and likeness for Kevin Samuels' advantage, which will be the first type of privacy tort in the state of North Carolina right now.
Yeah, and also it appears that 3 and 4 falls under the category of like defamation and libel.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Those are causes of action that will be linked to that tort.
Yeah.
Whenever you defame somebody, like say something about somebody that's not true, and the fact that she was disclosing personal private facts about herself, which falls under number 3, they weren't embarrassing for her at the time nor for him.
Yep.
So that's why number 3 doesn't apply, because although she was disclosing personal private facts, they weren't not embarrassing, because if they were to her, she would not have disclosed them. 9 times out of 10, I don't think too many people would disclose embarrassing private facts about themselves intentionally.
I agree.
So number 3 is definitely out the door, and 4 pretty much talks about defamation. If you pretty much lie on somebody, false light means that you lying, right, and you spread the lie to the public eye, and it cause injury to somebody. Like if you put something publicly, say if you tell a lie on what's those things that people use that follow, when you follow people.
Is it memes
on the internet
or tags? Maybe is it tags you're referring to?
Like the pop was the Facebook,
right,
or Twitter. So say if you put something, you tell a lie about someone on Facebook, and they lose their job because their boss said, then number 4 kick in. That's defamation. So it's pretty much describing what defamation and libel in 4 and 3.
Right.
So I think 2. I mean, number 1 would be the main one, and if that's and again, it depends on what cause of action. So based on originally when the young lady who was talking about Miss Jessica's case, if they're actually going into court talking about the likeness and use of their name and likeness, and as you said that you didn't see any type of waiver statement in there,
right?
Kevin done. Make a long story short.
Well, let me say this, Rodney. Let me say this. I take exception to that, because I still think that Kevin has a very strong affirmative defense. And I'm glad you said that, because that leads me to the next case. All right. Because I got another case law. Now, this particular case is Collingwood versus General Electric Real Estate Equities. Right. Now, this is from the North Carolina Supreme Court, 1989. All right. So I'm gonna scroll down, and again, we're not reading the whole case. We only want to deal with things that are pertinent to the case at hand. All right. Now it says right here, it says to establish actionable negligence at common law, right? So in essence, what you're saying is that there's some type of negligence that was caused by Kevin. So it says to establish actionable negligence at common law, a plaintiff must show the following. Number 1, that there has been a failure to exercise proper care in the performance of some legal duty which defendant owed to plaintiff under the circumstances in which they were placed. And number 2, that such negligent breach of duty was a proximate cause of injury. Now, I'm going to read this again, right? I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to read this again, and I'm going to place their names into it, right? So to establish actionable negligence at common law, Jessica must show the following. Number 1, that there has been a failure to exercise proper care in the performance of some legal duty which Kevin Samuels owed to Jessica under the circumstances in which she was placed. Number 2, that such negligent breach of duty was the proximate cause of the injury. Now, reading this definition, how the court laid out what negligence is, I have to agree with what you said, Rodney, that Kevin was negligent, right? And not producing a waiver, whether it was verbal or whether it was expressed on the screen, where people can see it. Now, in my opinion, I think it should be both. I think you should briefly tell people. You can say something like, view the waiver. You know what I'm saying? Be advised, it's a waiver. The waiver is coming across the screen. He could say anything like that, had a waiver that he has the right basically to use her image and likeness because she's a participant on his show. So I agree with what you just said right here, right? There's some level of negligence that was caused by Kevin Samuels because he was supposed to exercise proper care in his performance, right? He did have a legal duty that he owed Jessica to place a waiver there. He did. You know what I mean? Now, did that negligence cause her injury? Now, she's saying that it did. So to me, I think that she meets both of these requirements also. What do you think about that, Rodney?
Yeah, that could possibly be true.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to finish to go on because if he was negligent for not putting a waiver, how can she get around his negligence if that's the case?
Well, all right, I'm glad you said that because hey, Rodney, you know me, you know I'm about to bring something else up. Now check this out. In this same particular case, right? I want to deal with this statement right here. The court said, and I'm gonna highlight this. Excuse me. It says, we have held that the existence of contributory negligence does not depend on plaintiff's subjective appreciation of danger. Rather, contributory negligence consists of conduct which fails to conform to an objective standard of behavior. In quotes, the care an ordinary prudent person would exercise under the same or similar circumstances to avoid injury. Now I'm gonna plug in their names. So the North Carolina Supreme Court said that they have held that the existence of contributory negligence does not depend on Jessica's subjective appreciation of danger. Rather, contributory negligence consists of conduct which fails to conform to an objective standard of behavior. The care an ordinary prudent person would exercise under the same or similar circumstances to avoid injury. Now, again, this is why I said earlier that to me, just as much as Kevin had a legal duty that was possibly owed to her, now we discovered what that legal duty was, that there should have been a waiver inside his video. So yes, he does hold legal duty to her by giving her a waiver, right? But she also had some responsibility in this because this particular case law says the care an ordinary prudent person would exercise under the same or similar circumstances to avoid injury. Now, what is a prudent person? Now, I have a definition for prudent, right? Let me scroll up. And it says prudent, acting with or showing care or thought for the future. So a prudent person shows care. They show thought, right? It says similar will be wise, judicious, or even shrewd. So a prudent person will be somebody that's wise, somebody that's shrewd, right? So to me, and this is my opinion of it, right? It would have been wise or shrewd for her when she asked Kevin, can he see her? And Kevin said yes. It would have been wise and shrewd for her if she was a prudent person, right? For her to sit there and say, well, I wanted to make sure that only you can see me, right? And no one else. She could have said something as simple as that. She didn't. That's what any reasonable person would say. So what I'm alleging is that she has some contributory negligence in this. That's what I'm alleging. That's what I see. Now, I have something else for you too, Rodney. Something else I want to cover. Now, this is a different case that deals with the same thing. Now, this is Miller versus Miller, North Carolina Supreme Court from 1968. All right. Now, I'm going to scroll down. Again, we are only dealing with the subject at hand, y'all. We're not going to read this entire case. We only want to deal with, we only want to deal with the interpretation of negligence and contributory negligence, right? Just like we checked out privacy torts. We only want to deal with those things from the court. So I want to make that clear. And I'm almost there. It is right here. All right. Now, right here, 74, it says the rule in North Carolina is that an injured plaintiff, whether his case be tort or contract, right? So in this case, in my opinion, we dealing more so with a tort. But again, we just going off of speculation, off of the details that we have, right? Until we get this complaint. So it says the rule in North Carolina is that an injured plaintiff, whether his case be tort or contract, must exercise reasonable care and diligence to avoid or lessen the consequences of the defendant's wrong. If he fails to do so for any part of the loss incident to such failure, no recovery can be had. Now, I'm gonna start this back over, and I'm gonna read it with their names, right? So I'm gonna read it with their names. The court says the rule in North Carolina is that an injured plaintiff, being Jessica, whether her case be tort or contract, right, must exercise reasonable care and diligence to avoid or lessen the consequences of Kevin Samuels' wrong. If she fails to do so for any part of the loss incident to such failure, no recovery can be had. So to me, it sounds like she's possibly barred from getting damages. That's what it sounds like to me, because I'm alleging that there's some contributory negligence there, because she had a duty to ask him or to state to him that she only wanted her image to be seen between those two, right? Not to mention, she verbally agreed to a verbal contract or agreement with Kevin Samuels to whatever his teaching lesson is, right? Whatever this teaching lesson is, she agreed to it and she said, okay. Now let's read on. It says, this rule is known as the doctrine of avoidable consequences, or the duty to minimize damages. Failure to minimize damages does not bar the remedy. It goes only to the amount of damages recoverable. It has its source in the same motives of conservation of human and economic resources as the doctrine of contributory negligence, but comes into play at a later stage. All right, now we're right here. Now I'm gonna read this in quotes. It says the doctrine of avoidable consequences is to be distinguished from the doctrine of contributory negligence. Generally, they occur, if at all, at different times. Contributory negligence occurs either before or at the time of the wrongful act or omission of the defendant. On the other hand, the avoidable consequences generally arises after the wrongful act of the defendant. That is, damages must flow from the wrongful act or omission of the defendant, and if some of these damages could reasonably have been avoided by the plaintiff, then the doctrine of avoidable consequences prevents the avoidable damages from being added to the amount of damages recoverable. Now, again, I think Kevin has a very strong case, right? Now, if everything was laid out the way we're discussing it on this broadcast, Rodney, I think Kevin have a very strong affirmative defense of contributory negligence. I really do. And I have another reason just popped in my brain that I'm going to bring up in a second. But I want to know what you think.
Well, it depends on what type of claims she's bringing.
What, Rodney? Let's say she's bringing it similar to what we're discussing.
Because to me it's two. Because now, if she would bring up negligence, whenever you're talking about the unauthorized use of an image, right, or likeness, so there's like negligence don't really have to be used. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to go back to. Is what we're doing is pretty much speculating based off the hearsay we have.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yep.
So based off the hearsay we have, if I was working for Jessica, or if Kevin is sued for unauthorized use of a person's likeness and image, contributory negligence can't save him. And the reason why I'm saying it is because there's no negligence. He just unauthorized. He didn't do any type of negligence to her. He just used her image without her permission.
Right. So
You see what I'm
basically,
saying?
yeah, so let me lay it out there. So basically what you're saying is it depends on the wording, the words, specific words,
How they structure their case.
right?
Yeah.
How they right. I agree with you. I agree with
How
you.
they lay the case up, because
Yeah.
because if she say that he was negligent in not having a waiver or something like that, because it's gonna boil down to that waiver. Whenever you're dealing with, and that's what whenever the video was playing, I was kind of going through some reading, and it was saying just what that said about the, let me scroll through it right quick, where it talked about the invasion of privacy.
Right.
Because whenever you gave the unauthorized uses, it says this article I'm reading, legal article, it says there are two distinct legal claims that potentially apply to unauthorized uses. One is invasion of privacy through misappropriation of name and likeness. That's what he's hanging on right now.
Right.
And then two, violation of the right of publicity. So that's a person. The right of publicity is the right of a person to control or make money from the commercial use of his or her identity. So,
which will both fall under the privacy tort number one. Both of those
Right.
sound like number one, right?
right. So this is how they gonna narrow. If she got a good attorney, she can just narrow her argument and talk about just the invasion of privacy through misappropriation and name and likeness. And from that, there are elements. You already know about elements. So whatever the cause of actions is that you choose to use, you have to meet certain elements. So if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, say if you have 4 elements in order to meet a particular cause of action, if you got 3 elements, you're gonna lose. You have to have all 4.
Basically, you're all right or you're wrong, in other words.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So for what? So if her attorney come in and say, we're suing you for the unlawful use of her name and likeness, right?
Right.
So those elements is use of protected attribute, 1, for exploratory, to exploit the purpose, that's to make money off of, 2, and without consent, 3. Based on what you saying under a negligence cause of action, you saying that she gave consent because it was implied based on her actions. You know what I'm saying? Her actions implied that she wanted to proceed when Mr. Samuel said, somebody said, can you see me? So therefore, he said, yes. So therefore, he's that's like consent to what they're saying. But you and I both know, right? Under whenever your name and likeness, that's almost like a copyright. So so to me, they giving a person, a living, breathing person, a right to the copyright of their image without having to file one. You got to file a copyright of an image if you write a book,
right? Or
if you come up with a name, something that you create or generate from your mind or your brain.
Right.
So
and with a photo, I don't mean cut you off, but I was gonna say with a photo is basically you originated the photo, therefore that photo is your copyright because the origination of the image is yours.
Right. So that's what we was talking about in private. I ain't gonna go into it too deep. Remember we was talking about how we gonna do our the waiver statement. Right?
Yeah. Actually,
and then the one that I had said one word and versus the one that you had. So we ain't gonna go into it now, but you're gonna understand what I'm saying. So whenever her likeness is your body, You know what I'm saying? That's your image. So if anybody take your image, and just like on his show, he's taking her image. So you would have to say, well, to support what you're saying, well, does he always have people images when he's talking to them on either Disagreeable Friday or any other day? Like what percentage of, this is probably what they're gonna go into, depends on what route they take their case. Like how often does he have people images on his show? So they'll probably go through all of his posts, stuff that he posts, right? And then the stuff that he posts, they're gonna see whenever he talking to people that could kind of hurt their feelings or something like that. How many times does he have those people images on his post,
Public
whereas
display.
when people look at his channel, view his channel, they see him talking to that person. You know what I'm saying? So what percentage of time does he always do that, or does he do it sometimes, or did he just do it just to her? So that's
a
would
great
be one question. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because he have done it in the past. Now I'm not aware of how often, and the reason why I must say that is because normally when I listen to a show, right, normally I am I'm at the gym or something, so I'm actually working out. You know, I don't have time to look, but I'm listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I have seen images before of other women. Now, the percentage, I don't know.
Now the other women that he have on there, is he having the type of conversation that he was having with her, like a disagreeable, you know what I'm saying, would not want to embarrass him, but ended up embarrassing?
Yeah, it was an advice type of thing. Same thing that she asked for.
Okay,
and see,
so
to me, that's important too, because I got something I'm gonna throw out there too. I make sure I ain't forget. I'm gonna throw this out there. But no, go ahead, Rodney.
Go ahead, throw it out there. Because go ahead.
All right, because see, I wanted to go back, because remember, and I'm not going to play it again, right? But remember, I played that part, I want to say maybe 3 times. I know I played it twice, where Kevin Samuels said that, in quotes, right? In quotes, this is a teaching lesson. He said, I'm gonna give you the advice that you're looking for, but this is a teaching lesson. And she said, in quotes, okay. Remember, I'm saying that, to me, that is a verbal implied contract, right?
Right. So
right here, this is what I said earlier. I said I want to go back, and I'm glad it just popped in my brain again. I want to go back and read this definition again. It says an implied contract is an agreement which is found to exist based on the circumstances which to deny a contract will be unfair and or result in unjust enrichment to one of the parties. So where I'm getting at is this. I've heard Kevin Samuels on that broadcast say probably about 3 times that, ma'am, you need to just schedule a session. He really wanted to do it in private rather than to do it on the air, but he did it. He made her offer because that's what she wanted. She was demanding of this, right? So he made her offer and she accepted. So right there was a contract. So where I'm getting at is that Kevin provided a service for her on the air. He actually gave her a session live on the air that normally she would have paid for, right? So in my opinion, now I'm just alleging this, you know, of course, this is something that him and his attorney would have to raise, but I'm saying that she got her advice on the air and he got paid with views. That's what I'm saying. That sounds like it's a term I'm looking for, but basically it sounds like both parties were fairly compensated.
Right. So let's just pretend that I'm on her side of the fence, and then you just brought, as the attorney, brought that argument up.
Right.
Now, you and I both know through you want to explain what some of the maxims of laws are? Like a maxim. Like, what is a maxim of law? Is that it's an authority,
right,
that can be used in court. You know, it's like a
Correct.
law. It's a maxim. It's like a tradition.
Right.
You know, it's like a saying. It's like a saying, but these are sayings. Maxims of laws are sayings that they pretty much use as authority in court. Google that joint right quick.
Okay. Define legal maxim. Let's see what pops up. Now it's Wikipedia. Let me use something that I really don't like to use Wikipedia, just because it's not a accredited source. You know what I mean? You can't use it in an educational institution as well as courts. I really don't like to use it, although they do give you a good background on stuff sometimes. Right here.
And one thing about Wikipedia, the reason Wikipedia could be good, because although what you said is true, if you go to the bottom of Wikipedia sites, they do cite sources, references.
That's true.
Sites, so therefore you can do your personal research to really define what's really going on.
Right. That's true. That is true.
Go ahead.
Right here it says maxim. It says a broad statement of principle, the truth and reasonableness of which are self-evident. So it says a rule of equity, which means fairness, the system of justice that complements the common law. Common law would be case law for those who don't know. Judge-made law, common law.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying. Now, even though he went through all that, gave her chances, she agreed. She was dressed up, got her head done, face done, everything done. Now,
implied consent. Right. No, I said implied consent, right?
Implied consent, right? But you and I both know, and I don't know which maxim, I should have brought it up, but it just came to my mind, that it's the maximum law that says you can never waive your rights. You can't waive and sign you can't imply your rights away. You know, and her right to her God-given image, you can't waive that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up. Hey, Rodney, we're gonna have to pull up. We're gonna have to find that maxim, all right? Because I want to challenge that for a second. Now, a right, like a right in this country is the right to vote. Now, we all have the right to vote under the 15th Amendment. Now, you got a lot of our people right now. This is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, that think that our right to vote comes under the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Well, you're sadly mistaken. And I'm gonna prove this to you all. Your right to vote is protected under the 15th Amendment. Now, what I was gonna say is that's a right to vote, but at any time you can waive it. How can you waive it? Well, you could be registered to vote and just don't vote. That's one way to waive it. But then you can also write them a letter. Matter of fact, I think they have a form you can fill out where you would be removed from the voter rolls. So isn't that waiving the right?
Yeah, but what you just said was you wrote something down and sent it to him. Where did she do that?
Good point. Right. Yeah, right. No, that's a good point.
So
that's why it needs to be a waiver.
That's why it needs to be a waiver.
You get that? Yeah.
It needs to be a waiver because that her likeness, right?
Yeah.
Her likeness. There's no paperwork for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to file nothing with the Patent and Trademark Office for your likeness. You don't have to sign that. Right. That's why whenever a movie star, a movie is being shot, and one of those extras that's not an extra pop up in the scene by accident, they hurry up and go to that person that they identified inside that movie screen that wasn't part of the extras or wasn't part of the paid cast, and they rush a waiver to them. Right. So even though that person ain't saying nothing, it just happened to just be caught, a glimpse. You know, a glimpse of you got caught inside their production. So whenever that glimpse got caught, right, in the production, they have to go find them. You know, the chances are that person seeing that movie, seeing themselves in that movie, and saying, "Damn, y'all owe me some money," is slim to none. But they still understand that right to protect that. They can't waive that right. When I was shooting a movie and the person knew I was shooting a movie and they jumped their ass in there because they was trying to be slick and want to be inside that joint, they still have to make that person sign it because you can't waive that right. You can't waive that right to your body. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So what Kevin, the only thing that can save Kevin is the incompetence of her lawyer.
Of her attorney. Right. I got to agree with you on that.
That's the only thing that's going to save him, because all they got to do is say, leave the word negligence out. He wasn't negligent. He just did not notify her that he was going to use her image in commercial. And that's the key. He using her joint for commercial. Let me go to this article right quick, where it talks about the commercial use. But
see, it depends on how commercial is defined. Because see, my thing is
anything that's making commerce, anything that's making money. So just like he get paid from views. You know, he got paid from the
No,
use
no,
of
I
her
no, no,
image because
I agree with you. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I do agree with you. That's why I made the comparison earlier. I do agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say this. I'm really curious how her attorney is laying it out in the complaint. I gotta say that. Yeah,
that's all that matters, because if he come to if her attorney talks about, well, he used the image and it hurt her feelings and he's negligent by using her image, no, all that,
he has the affirmative defense. Yep, contributory negligence.
You know what I'm saying? But if he come in that joint say he used her image and didn't share the profits, you know, you only have to say that you was injured as far as your feelings was hurt, because everybody said that you was that Kevin gave you the benefit of the doubt as being average at best. You know what I'm saying? Because some may not have thought she was average at best, but Kevin might have thought that, I mean, they might have thought Kevin was being nice. So I don't know what type of
Plus she said she was average herself. She said that. So
exactly,
if
she must have been common, it was something that drove her to sue.
Well, I think what it is,
a
lot of people on social media, like the video just blew up, man. It went viral. And I think she was upset because a lot of men shared the same opinion that Kevin had, that she was just average at best. I mean, personally, I do too.
That's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my point right there. Yeah. That's my point, because
he's being nice. I feel like she's a 4. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you.
Right. So whatever number she's at, that's what hurt her feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it was the comments after the video was posted, right? So the video was posted and people came in agreeing with Kevin and her feelings got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And so then somebody said, well, he used that joint without letting you know. So whenever you use somebody's image, right? Those views, the money that he made off those views would not have been gained without her likeness. That's what he's done. You know what I'm saying? He would not have got all those views off that particular show without the assistance of Miss Jessica. If Miss Jessica wasn't on that show at that particular time with her image, dressed up, dolled up or whatever, that particular show would not have got the number of hits that it gotten without Jessica. So therefore, the money that he made off that particular show is due to her. Something is due to her,
or at least
the
a
fact
portion.
That he doesn't have a waiver. She's going to penetrate more than just that one show.
Right. See, I ain't mean cut you off, right? I was going to say, man, we got to get our hands on this complaint, and
that's how we can be more exact.
Yeah, because I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna listen to some more shows about it. I'm gonna try to find out exactly what county, or at least what city, she resides at in North Carolina, and I can find out what county, and we can get the information for there. And of course, any of our listeners, please, if you're able to get your hands on Jessica, aka Miss Average at Best, complaint filed against Kevin Samuels, right, or the other woman, whatever her name is, we don't even know who this lady is, but if you're able to get that too, please email it to us. Our email will be in the description box of this video. And I also wanted to say this too, Rodney, that on the upcoming video, we're going to talk about digital rights. Now, that's what Rodney is referring to, digital rights, and ways that you can remove liability from yourself by showing other people's image and likeness. So that's what we're going to entertain you with on the next broadcast that we do.
Right. Yeah, because that would have saved them. Because right now, she's suing. She basically initiating the lawsuit because her feelings was hurt.
Right. But she has some merit, and her suit has merit.
If she come with the right argument, talking about the misappropriation of her likeness and image without unauthorized, she gonna smash it. Yeah. But if she come with too much of anything else, that's when all the defenses come in. So again, it goes back to the structure of the claim.
But let me say this, Rodney. Hey, Rodney, this gonna be my closing statement. Let me say this. If I was Kevin Samuels, Kevin, if you hear me, bro, I still would bring up the fact that I had a verbal, implied contract with her. I told her that I was going to give her the advice that she was demanding online. You know what I'm saying? And I gave her that advice, and I told her it was going to be a teaching lesson. She never asked me what that meant, so I never had a chance to stipulate anything to her, but she said okay, which means she agreed to it. And a part of that teaching lesson was me showing her image and likeness to the world. That's what I would say. So I gave her advice that she demanded, right? And I got paid with views. That's how I would kind of just deal with it and just hope. Just hope that the court agrees with you. Depending upon what she say.
Yeah, because what you just said saved him, but he didn't say that. He didn't say, well, I'm gonna use this as a teaching lesson and your image is part of it. He didn't say that. You know, so he done. He see what you're doing, you're saving him, but you're imposing your intellect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right now I am. I
You know what I'm saying?
Because and I am like at this point, you're right, Rodney. At this point, and again, y'all, we have dealt with this issue this entire show objectively, but I am right now kind of adding with my closing statement. I am adding, like you said, my legal intellect to help Kevin out with this situation, because I would love for him to win, because I feel like Kevin is doing the Lord's work. I mean, I like what he's doing, man. I do. And it's getting the conversation going in the black side of social media, you know what I mean, as far as relationships, because he deal a lot with relationships amongst black men and black women. And even like, I agree with his stance that we need more marriages. Actually, we're going to talk about that. We have some great things to discuss with that too. So I agree with what he's doing, and I feel like a lot of these women are attempting to destroy the man's, not just his image, but his entire platform. And my thing is this: for years, sisters have been talking shit about us for years, man. Excuse my language, because we're not supposed to curse on here. And we have let them enjoy their free speech, right? We have allowed them to enjoy their freedom of expression. So I don't understand why now that some of us have our own platforms, it's all this pushback. But again, that I'm being subjective with that. You know what I mean? The purpose of this show is not to be subjective, but I am with my final statements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then even though it's like trespass, right?
Right.
You can trespass on somebody's property and not know it, right?
Right.
Because you trespass on somebody's property and not know it, do you still not trespass? You know what I'm saying? So
let me say this, Rodney. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I'm a support something that you said, that in order to have a proper argument that somebody trespassed on your property, the owner of the property is supposed to post signs up saying no trespassing. Now we have a case. It's a case, man, that I read a long time ago. I got to find it. I think that would be a great show too, where we actually discuss that. You know what I'm saying? The point is, you always have to give your intent. You always got to lay your intent out there and allow the person
go beyond. Yeah, I know it was the case law that said that you have to have a something about the case law said you have to have a no trespassing sign.
Yeah,
but most law, like statute and people state stuff like that, doesn't say you have to have that joint. You know what I'm saying? It's if you have a property, right? Your backyard, and the kid kick a ball in your backyard and just jump the fence and go over there, that's trespassing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have a right to your private house. If somebody need to come on your property, they need to let you know. So
that's true.
You don't have to have a sign on your back when it's fenced.
Because I can see that. See, I need to go back and read that case. I can see that because a fence is a border. That's the whole purpose of putting fences.
Our property line is a fence. Our property line. This is my property line where my driveway starts. So that's the same. So I'm trying to relate that the same thing with your living flesh, your body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't trespass on that joint by accident. You still trespass. So he could still have violated, infringed on her privacy, right?
Right.
And not know it, not do it intentionally. So therefore, whatever damages she may receive, if it depends on how it work out, they're gonna say that because the amount of views is not his doing, he put the video out there like he put all the other ones out there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he put that video out there and then put some nitro on it and make it go faster. You know what I'm saying? It was the content of the video that made it do what it did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's the star of that video, but she needed to be compensated for that joint because her likeness and image made that joint jump up to 440-some thousand views as of December 8th.
Right.
It was because of her. It wasn't because of him. He probably doesn't have any more with 400-some thousand views in that amount of time.
Right.
So he legally owe her something because they're really hustling together. She's just an undisclosed investor.
Right. Well,
you know,
I tell you this, man. I look forward to us getting our hands on that complaint because we're gonna get it. Either one way or the other, we're gonna get our hands on that complaint. So
yeah, and then that way, that's gonna then that'll give us a more direct way to approach it. Right now, is just hypothetical based off what the hearsay.
Speculating. Right.
You know, so you can speculate one way, we can speculate this way, but until we see what's in black and white, what's on the four corners of the document, you know, that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that argument can go either way, but it's gonna be based on how that case is couched.
Right. Now, I'm pretty much. I already made my closing statements. Are you pretty much done too, Rodney? Because if you are, I'm just going to go ahead and
I'm done.
Okay, I'm gonna end the broadcast. Again, thank you everybody for listening to us here at The Power of Offense. Again, where we entertain you with legal commentary from a layman's point of view. Now, please share, like, and subscribe. Again, please share, like, and subscribe. We know that your family and friends will all enjoy the content that we provide here at The Power of Offense. All right. Peace.
Peace.